Hello and welcome to another edition, another show of addiction recovery. Hope, capital, all capital letters. Hope.
Mm.
Hope that doesn't confuse people. I've been asked, what does the hope mean, and it just means hope. We're just trying to spread a little bit of hope, and resources. We're I'm Heston Cherry, I guess, and wifey bonked out on this one. She said, "I'll do the next one," but we'll see how that goes. I have learned. It's just like everything in my recovery is no expectations, right, Ty?
Yep, that's how it goes.
But she's sitting right here with me, so she's maybe we'll jump in here or there. So my guest today is Ty Empey, and he is a very well-known person in the recovery community around St. George.
I don't know about that.
Well, you're not. I put well liked on my Facebook page, but I don't know if I should have put well liked because I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but I think you're both well known and well liked. But and you also have good relationships up north in northern Utah, so
Yeah.
you have a lot of resources up there
Yeah, for
that you're
sure.
familiar with. But Ty, we're gonna get started with him. He's had his struggles in life, and he'll share those with us maybe later. But he's going to talk about some cool stuff he's been working on to get recovering addicts out into the community and active and to break stigmas and to really help. And that's what he's doing. He's helping. He's serving. And if we both have similar beliefs that if we can just help one person, we're doing good. So, Ty, I'm going to turn the time over to you, and I'll butt in when I need to. And I appreciate you coming in.
Right on, dude. I appreciate being here. And yeah, feel free to, whatever questions you have, I'm an open book. So
All right.
fire away, whatever questions you have. But I guess first and foremost, I would like to kind of talk about just the recovery community here in St. George as a whole. There are so many circles where, addiction recovery and resources are happening every day, all day long. There's different treatment centers. There's Southwest Center, Addict to Athlete. You've got Washington County Court Support Services. You've got, just tons of different places and people that are all just based around helping people, have resources and things to do that can help them recover from addiction. And I've been lucky enough to kind of rub shoulders with a lot of them. And so that's kind of how the whole recovery softball league started. It's
So you're doing a softball league.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. So and I cannot take credit for it. It has been a collective thing. There's been lots of people that helped put that together. I don't even want to get into naming names. There's so many of them. But it's pretty much everybody that is playing and participating or coaching or umpiring or whatever. They've all participated in helping it all come together. And when I went through treatment up north, when I got out of treatment, I played in a sober softball league up there. And that was it was the place to be on a Friday night. And just everybody from all different places, all different circles, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, everywhere. And it was just a great time. You didn't have to be good at softball. You could just come have a good time. Lots of people would just come and sit in the stands and watch. And so that's kind of where, when I ended up down here in St. George, there was nothing like that down here. And then it just kind of all came together very nicely, and everybody kind of bought into it. And
You even got a city to support where you get to play.
yep, so we play in Hurricane on their fields out there, and it's a little bit of a drive, but they were the only place that was open on Saturdays. We wanted it to be on a weekend so that, people could have more time, and there's other meetings and curfews and things that are going on all during the week. Some people work evenings, and so a night of the week would have been difficult. And so Hurricane, they were the only place that was open, and when they heard about what we were doing, they were very accepting of it and worked great.
Yeah.
with us and all that. So we're happy to be out there.
I think you should get a Hurricane police department team and have them play each other.
So that's one thing that we've been discussing in the future is doing a fundraiser or organizing some sort of game or something, and actually get law enforcement involved, like go to APMP and go to St. George Police Department and Hurricane City Police Department and say,
how cool
hey,
would that be?
let's put a game together
Let's
and
break these stigmas.
Yeah, come play a bunch of recovering addicts and let's have fun together. Like, I think it'd be funny, but
that would.
Anyways, so it's been good. We just had our second week of games on Saturday. And it's been awesome for me to just have the experience of like watching people having a good time and being able to be a part of kind of helping put it together and whatnot. And just a couple experiences there. I mean, the first week of games, I'll tell this story. The first week of games, there was and there's so much crossover on the team. So we have 9 teams in the league, and like everybody is like they might be on one team, but they're also super active with like another team or whatever. And so I remember the first week was crazy, and I was kind of going crazy, bouncing between the fields, trying to get scoreboards and umpires and scorekeepers and everything all set up, and it kind of finally settled down a little bit, and I just sat there for a minute and watched the game. And there was a client at one treatment center who came up to bat, but he also is a part of what the other team was about, and they have a mentor program and whatnot. But anyways, they didn't have enough people on their team, so he ended up coming and playing with this other team.
Nice.
Which was awesome. But he comes up to bat, and like everybody in the field was like giving him a hard time and like, oh, scoot up, like, and just heckling him a little bit. And he hit a line drive. Like, I mean, that thing had some mustard on it, and it was cruising. And somebody just stuck their glove up and snagged it. Oh. And man, the whole field was just like, oh, like just giving him a hard time. And everyone was laughing, whatever. But like that was awesome. And I remember just like, I was like, man, how cool is this? And like, not even a few minutes later, another batter comes up and runs around to second. And as they're standing on second, the guy playing short on the opposite team comes over and they hug, standing right there on second base. Yeah. And I was just like, man, like it's just good to see that.
There's a lot of love in recovery.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like playing sports, there's just the whole team element. Yeah. You know what I mean? And camaraderie and even competition when it's healthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's been good. It's been fun.
How do they have to be a specific time in recovery? They have to have a week recovered, or just at a facility? What's up with that?
We kind of left it up to the teams. So I mean, we have teams from treatment centers. So like, there's Steps Recovery Center, there's Lionsgate, there's Renaissance Recovery, there's the Southwest Center. There's a team of mentors from the Southwest Center. There's a team. Just a bunch of friends and family put a team together. Addict to Athlete has a team. And so really it's when we were kind of getting it going, it was like, hey, we're going to start here. Anybody wants to play can play. And so, I mean, the teams are pretty much set right now, but I mean, there's like, I know Addict to Athlete, for example, like they're still always looking for people. And so like, if anybody, I mean, I still get texts like, hey, I'm interested in playing. What do I do? And send them over there. Like there's another team that they might be short on girls one week, and so hey, go play with them, or whatever. But anybody can come play, and most importantly, anybody can come watch. Like that's another cool thing.
Saturdays from 4 to 4.
Games start at 5. And they're over by 9.
Okay. So and do family members participate, or they just cheer?
Both. Yeah, so there's one team in the league, which I think is awesome. And it's a girl that I know from the rooms, and she just started asking her friends, you know, in Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and just people that she knows from her recovery life. And she got a bunch of people from there. But then also she's got her family and like her aunts and cousins and whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not, you don't have to be a former drug addict to play in the league.
Sure.
Like everybody has been affected by addiction somehow. And I think it's great that
It's a family disease, we say.
yes, there's families out there playing. But even like, okay, so here's another story. And this happened the first week also. But it was another time when I just got to sit down and watch for a second. And I remember kind of looking over, and there was two gentlemen, and they were like helping this older lady get out of the car. And they were like helped her walk over, and she sits down on the bleachers. And she just went to the closest seat possible, and they just sat down. And I was like, "Hey, who are you guys here watching?" They're like, "Oh, we're over here, whatever." And within a couple of minutes of watching, this lady, she was like, "Can I say swing better, swing?" And I was like, "You can say anything you want." Like, and then another situation there was a time when an umpire dropped out, or he didn't drop out, he just had to go, like he had to leave. It was the last games of the night, and we had to ask a dad in the stands if he could umpire. Yeah. And so that was way cool, like that he got to umpire his game. And then the next week, come to find out that he was the high school coach for a girl who plays in the league who's on another team. Nice. And so I love that the community and families are a part of this, because we, as addicts, we kind of don't have a very good stigma about us, because we have definitely done our fair share of damage out there. Sure. But it's great to have a chance to kind of maybe repair that a little bit.
And it's happening. It's happening around. And the reason why, first of all, I want to go back, and then I got two things I was going to say. Mm-hmm. Is that the reason why I asked, can a family member come, is that I saw a Facebook post from a fellow person in recovery, mm-hmm. and it said, "Finally home after a day filled with games. So grateful I get to yell, 'That's my kid.' Shout out to the Recovery Softball League. Such an amazing way to celebrate recovery." And so it was cool to me. That brought a question: do the family members get to play? And she gets to yell, "That's mm-hmm. my girl right there." And mm-hmm. so, and the second thing I wanted to say is that recovering addicts are breaking stigmas. If anyone's ever been to a recovery event, where there's sometimes thousands of recovering addicts, we're everywhere. Mm-hmm. But if anyone's ever been a part of that, I can tell you, you've never been around nicer, more gentle, more loving, mm-hmm. more caring people in your whole entire life. And it's totally opposite from the life they lived. Oh, yeah. So it's really cool to see these events coming and activities coming into our communities and breaking it, because it's got to happen one thing at a time, like you said, addict to athlete, and softball league, and whatever else comes. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. As you were saying that, it made me think, like, because again, after I got out of treatment, and I was playing in a softball league up there for recovering addicts, and we basically patterned our league down here after what it looks like up there. But I was playing in that league, and I like kind of even taking it a step back further. So like before I ever got help for my drug problem, I lived a very isolated life, and I didn't I didn't think that I had a problem. I felt like I was in complete control of the whole thing. I felt like nobody could understand, and everybody that was trying to tell me what I had to do to fix myself or be better, they didn't know what they were talking about because they'd never done it before. Yeah. Anyways, when I went through treatment, that was the first time in my life when I got to experience, hey, I'm just like these people. Right. Like these people are just like me. And that was a cool realization in and of itself. But getting out of treatment and having the softball thing going on, and that became a big part of my social life when I got out of treatment. Yeah. That's when I had the realization that was like, I could spend time with these people because like just genuine, fun-loving, caring. I mean, they'll do anything
Yeah.
to help another
Service.
person. Yeah,
If you need
and
help. What I know in my recovery, Ty, is when I called my parents and they came down here and got me, or come up to Ogden and got me and my son and brought me back.
Mhm.
And for the first 6 months, it was Heston raising his child in his parents' home,
Yep.
and I didn't have friends, because if you do it right, I think you got to get away from the friends or the people you
Oh, yeah.
associate with. And so there's a lot of people out there alone that are wanting to get out, but you know, and being alone can lead you back to old behaviors and even your addiction again. So it's cool to have someone that says, "Get out here, let's get active."
Mm-hmm. The softball is just the excuse to get out and do just that. What you just said, you know what I mean? Like, connection is what we have lost and what we need in our lives.
Yeah.
And softball is just an excuse to get out and, you know what I mean? There's just something about, I grew up playing baseball, and there's just something about being on a ball field that, you know, it has.
And everyone can do it.
Yeah, and honestly, like this is not a competitive league whatsoever. Like we have,
It's fun.
you know, we've tailored it to where, like teams can have open rosters the entire season long. So like if there is anybody in the future that comes along, they're like, hey, I want to get involved, then, you know, they can jump on a team halfway through the season. You know what I
Right.
mean? They can start going to practice with a team and start coming out. And again, softball is the excuse.
And not everyone can just hit home runs. You can't stack a team.
Nope. Nope.
You only get so many.
Yep. And it's it's pretty even. It's a co-ed league, so it's guys and girls. And yeah, everybody just has fun. It's this last week, so we almost had to cancel games because it started raining. I was nervous all day long, and everybody was texting me like, "Are games canceled? Are they gonna whatever?" And so I was like, "Oh, we'll go out there at 4 and we'll take a look at it." And at 4 o'clock, they looked fine. The fields were nice and moist, but they weren't bad or anything. And so we're like, "Yep, games are on. Games start at 5." And so everybody got out there, and about halfway through that first game, it started coming down. And I was like, I was umpiring the game, and I was like, like, what do we do? Like,
Looking for lightning.
yeah. And like, I was like, okay, we'll just let them get 3 outs, and then called a rain delay. Was like, everybody go in your dugouts. Like, let's just take a break, 5 or 10 minutes, and see if it blows over. So everybody goes into their dugouts, and I call up to the other field, and they're like, what do we do? And I was like, we're taking a rain delay. We're just going to wait it out or whatever. And as soon as I hang up off the phone, everyone's yelling like, let's play, let's keep playing, let's go. And I was like, all right, we're all soaking wet already. It ain't going to hurt. So and everyone was just like, it was like kids playing in the rain, out in the mud on a ball field. And I don't know, it's just, it's cool.
Yeah, way cool.
So
I'm glad you got to be a part of doing that in your community and giving back. And I was up in Cedar City that day, and it rained the whole day, so you wouldn't have been playing softball. I watched my son play football, and it was a soggy mess. But no lightning. So
that's good. Yeah, we didn't see any lightning out there.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's been fun. And again, like I can't take any of the credit for it, because there's been a lot of people that have all come together. Like, it wouldn't have happened had there not been 9 different entities and groups of people.
Who pays for it? Who sponsors it? Do you need help? What's going on there?
Yeah, so we charged each team an entry fee, just to pay for what it costed to play on the fields out in Hurricane, and to pay for the insurance policy, because we had to get a $2.5 million liability policy to just cover anything in case there's accidents or whatever. And then we've got a little left over to buy some shirts and a trophy for at the end. We're going to have a 2-week double elimination tournament, and whoever wins that gets bragging rights and a T-shirt and a trophy that they can hang up wherever they want. And so it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you tailored it to the addicts. their schedules, because when you said that there's a lot of meetings in the week and that you had to have it on a Saturday, and I don't think the normal person out there that doesn't understand addiction or court when people are on court, things that the court commands them to do, they have to go to so much stuff during the week. They have to work. They have to come in and do urine tests, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. They have to, not every one of them, but the ones court ordered, but they've got their own meetings to keep themselves in recovery, because the only way you can stay in recovery is if you attend your meetings and you be around others that are succeeding. They've got children. So, yeah, I love how you did it. You said, oh, Hurricane's the only place that would do it on a Saturday. That's good thinking, because I think the league would be a lot smaller if you didn't do it that way.
No, it's hard. There's meetings every night throughout the week, and a lot of these people are living in sober living houses where there's curfew restrictions,
8 o'clock.
Things like that. And so, they typically have later curfews on Friday and Saturday nights. And so Saturday nights we try to do it early enough to where, we could get games in later on in the evening, but not have it be super late. So, I mean, games are done by 9, and so people still have time to go, do whatever they need to after that. But
get home by 10.
Yep. So, but it's been fun. There's also, I also have to give a shout out to the Addict to Athlete Minor League. They are running a concession stand out there to help raise some money for Addict to Athlete. And that's a whole nother cool story in and of itself.
Addict to Athletes, another resource out there. Those people were drug addicts or alcoholics, and they changed their lives, and now they run marathons, or they're intense into their addictions. They're now sports.
Yeah, Addict to Athlete's great. It's something I've been pretty involved with. Addict to Athlete. I'm a team captain for Addict to Athlete here in St. George, and I get to rub shoulders with all those guys over there. And it's just another resource. Like, there's Narcotics Anonymous, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's, different kind of groups tailored towards, different philosophies of recovery. And Addict to Athlete, they believe in the team building and team aspect of things. And but they're also very, very family centered, and, they try to get kids involved and whatnot. And so there's a bunch of people out there who are involved with Addict to Athlete who have kids, and they come to the park every week and play. And so they all got together and said they were willing to do the snack shack. And so they all got together and they went and bought a bunch of treats and drinks and
sodas. And
there's a little group of them that are out there just selling candy and stuff, and they're having a blast with it. So it's great.
Yeah. It's all about having fun, and that's when you're in recovery. You look at the simple things, like you've been saying. I looked out there and I saw these guys hugging, or you see it all over in these activities. You see just genuine love, and it's appreciation for life. Yeah. They've been given a second or fifth or 25th chance, and this is probably the one for them. It could be the one for them, and they're so happy just to be outside, because I wasn't active really for the last 10 years of my addiction. I didn't go out, and I played sports all my life, and I do now, but I didn't. When you're in your addiction, you're not going to get out. So it's cool to get out and find another. Something that you loved, that you gave up because of your addiction, really. And
somebody to do it with.
Yeah.
I know you're a big pickleball guy.
I like to play pickleball.
Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I haven't done that for a minute, man.
Yeah.
I've been good at, I've been going more at 7 and getting done by 8:39.
That's so crazy.
But they do. They go out there 4. The lights come on at 5 a.m. and they... and there's a lot of recovering addicts out there. It's pretty cool when everyone starts getting to know you. They're like, hey, I struggled too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, pickleball is huge here in St. George, and the next move for us after softball is we're going to find a place to play indoor volleyball during the colder time. And we'll have a recovery volleyball league, but I think it'd be cool to do a recovery pickleball tournament.
Oh man, you'd love it.
get everybody out there. And
I seen a group. It was one of the local, I want to say Steps, last 2 weeks ago maybe. All of a sudden I'm out on the pickleball course, and it's just, people play on their own courts, mind their own business. But you could hear this one court over there just cheering for each other and yelling and saying, "I'm the Michael Jordan of pickleball." Yeah, it was his first time playing, you could tell, but he thought he was cool when he hit one shot. But I come to find out they were at Steps Recovery. They were just out on a field trip.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Enjoyed it.
It's good. Again, like, I just think, again, I grew up playing sports, and so physical activities like that is just, especially when teams are involved and whatnot, it's one thing that we as recovering addicts kind of need. We need to be active. We need to be involved. We need to be connected, and sports just gives us that ability to do that. And then even one other thing I want to say. How are we doing on time? We're almost out of time.
You're fine. I'll stop you.
Okay, please do. I'm not
butt
keeping
in.
track of it. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is, like, for us to be able to participate in something like that, where we can go be a part of a team, have some physical activity, do something that we haven't done in a while, like that, those kinds of experience, to be able to do those clean and sober, again, like, those are huge successes for, people who are in recovery. But even above and beyond that, for somebody who's recovering from addiction to be able to let their parents come and watch them do that, like, that does a whole lot for them, because you have parents and family members who they've watched their kid or their brother or sister or whoever just destroy their life, and
theirs sometimes.
Yes, and they've seen them when they're all messed up on who knows what, and they've seen them at their worst, you know what I mean? And to be able to go and watch your family member who has struggled with addiction, and you get to see them out there having fun and giving high fives and just doing something clean and sober, like, it's like, that's another huge win.
Huge.
You know what I mean? And it's experiences like that we have in early recovery, where it's like, hey, like, this isn't so bad. Like, I could do this. And it just kind of gives us hope.
Yeah, hope. Capital H, capital O, capital P, capital E.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I guess I was going to say, tight Reader's Digest version of why you even care. What do these guys, what is it about helping an addict and helping them find another day in recovery that's so important to Ty?
Well, that's a great question. I wish you would have asked that at the beginning.
You got 3 minutes.
I will say this. Heston, when I first met you, that was 6-7 years ago.
5.5.
Yeah. And that was when, so I had been using drugs for years up to that point. And that was when, like, it had just come out to my family and people close to me, that I had been using drugs. And unfortunately for me, it took several more years of running amok and doing stupid stuff and causing destruction everywhere I went before I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I might have a problem. And when in my story, in my life, when I finally got to the point where I was willing to admit that and have enough willingness to just hear somebody else out, I didn't have any intentions of doing anything at first.
Or getting anything.
I was just willing to listen. But then once I was willing to listen and I could hear them sharing their experience, like, it was just like, that's me. Like, that makes sense. I get that. And it was just this whole new level of understanding that I hadn't felt in a while. And then just all the people that have cared for me throughout my recovery. Like, I mean, I could not have done it by myself. You know what I mean? I'd still be sleeping in my dad's garage, you know, dead of winter,
right?
And you know, just struggling and not caring.
So the reason is because you appreciate what you were given, and
Yes.
and it's your duty to give back.
Yes.
And there's nothing better than watching whatever percentage it is, even if some of them fail, the ones that make it.
Yes.
Nothing better.
Absolutely.
Best feeling in the world.
It is, yeah.
Giving me the chills right now.
And like, yeah, it's for people who have found some success in recovery. It helps us to be able to share with people who could use some help. You know what I mean?
And
like,
helps us stay clean too.
And a lot of this, like I do this for me. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I do it for other people, but this is my recovery. Like helping people, that helps me. That helps keep me clean. And it's awesome to see how close the entire community is with it.
Yeah.
And that everybody's, you know, renaming the stigmas and all that. And like, we're all just walking each other home. Yes,
sir. I love that. Well, thank you, Ty, once again for coming on, being willing, and we'd love to have you on again. We thank all of you out there listening. Like, share, comment. Every one of you do that, and it's amazing how many people we're reaching and helping. And there's resources out there, guys. If you're needing help, get with someone that knows about the community, and you'll find those resources and get the help that you or your loved one need. And we'll see you next Monday.